Tuesday, November 19th. The Greek army's counterattack, forcing the Italians to withdraw in the Pindos Mountains in northern Greece, between the Ionian Sea and the Aegean. Thousands of Italian soldiers are trapped in a pocket while the rest retreat across the Albanian border. German Foreign Minister Joachim von Ribbentrop and his Italian counterpart, Count Ciano, arrive in Vienna to meet the Hungarian leaders Teleki and Saki. In the Battle of Britain, Birmingham and Liverpool are heavily bombed by the Luftwaffe. More than 800 people are killed in the raids and 2,000 wounded. In London, Ernest Bevin, the British trade unionist and Minister of Labour in Churchill's government, declare in the House of Commons that as men are needed to serve in the army, women have a vital role to play in industry. The Admiralty announces the loss of the submarine Rainbow, while Flower-class corvettes start arriving from the Royal Canadian Navy. Many of these ships are captained by French, Dutch, and Norwegian officers. The Turkish government takes measures to increase its border defense forces. In North Africa, RAF planes bomb Italian positions in the cities of Tobruk and Bardia. Wednesday, November 20th. Hitler welcomes the Hungarian Prime Minister Pál Teleki and his Foreign Minister Saki in the Imperial Hotel in Vienna. Under pressure from the Nazi leadership, the Hungarian government declares its support for Italy and Germany and joins the Tripartite Pact. In Krakow, Poland, more than 70,000 Jews are crowded into the ghetto. The United States and British governments sign an agreement on cooperation in weapons technology. In the Battle of Britain, the German bombing continues with attacks on the industrial areas of Birmingham. In 2 days, the Luftwaffe has dropped more than 500 tons of bombs over the area in an effort to paralyze the country's armaments industry. London, Liverpool, and Southampton also suffer heavy attacks. The RAF attacks the Skoda arms factory in Pilsen, West Bohemia, as well as bombing the munitions depot of Berlin and the shipyards of Kiel, Hamburg, and Bremerhaven. The head of the Irish government, Eamon de Valera, refuses to allow British naval and air bases in Ireland. In North Africa, the Italian bombers attacked the Egyptian port of Alexandria and the railway lines of El Hamad. In Greece, heavy fighting continues in the area of Korica, Albania. Thursday, November 21st. In London, King George VI delivers a speech at the opening of a new parliamentary session in the House of Commons, in which he asserts that Britain will keep on fighting until freedom has been restored to the occupied countries. Winston Churchill warns that two fronts exist in the Mediterranean. The situation in Egypt is difficult, he says, but victory is not impossible. In Greece, though taken by surprise, the Greek army has been able to respond with firmness and, with British support, to push back the invader. Lord Halifax tells the Commons that he hopes to reach an agreement with the government in Moscow that could form the basis of an alliance if the Germans were to invade the Soviet Union. The Luftwaffe continues its attacks against London and the ports of southern England, with Weymouth, Southampton, and Bournemouth the hardest hit. In the Mediterranean, Malta is again attacked by Italian planes. Mussolini's troops capture the British Air Vice Marshal Owen Tudor Boyd in Sicily after he was to land on the island. In Libya, RAF bombers managed to destroy 42 enemy fighter planes. The fighting between Italians and Greeks in the Balkans increasingly exposes the weakness of Mussolini's armies, which retreat in panic, leaving behind their weapons. The Greek armies enter Gorica and capture 2,000 enemy soldiers. Friday, November 22nd. Gorica in Albania is occupied by Greek troops who have entered 25 kilometers into the country. The 9th Italian Army has been annihilated. After receiving an ultimatum from the Greek ambassador von Papen to join the war on the German side, the Turkish government declares martial law and increases the number of troops on its European borders with Bulgaria and Greece. In Berlin, the Romanian dictator, Ion Antonescu, meets Hitler to discuss territorial disputes involving his country. The Luftwaffe continues to London. In retaliation, the RAF attacks the airfield of Stavanger in occupied Norway. The Italian government claims that British Vice Marshal Owen Boyd, who has been taken prisoner in Sicily while flying from London to Egypt, was carrying important documents regarding the war in the Middle East. There is tension in the Uruguayan Senate over what some see as the undermining of national sovereignty by agreements being discussed with the United States to establish military bases in the country. The issue will also be discussed in Uruguay's Congress. In North Africa, Italian planes bomb the railway infrastructure at Marsa Matruh in Egypt and the airport of the British Protectorate of Aden. The RAF attacks Italian positions in Asab, Eritrea. In the Sea War, U-123, commanded by Karl-Heinz Mohle, sinks the merchant ship Kree. Saturday, November 23rd. In the Battle of Britain, the cities of Birmingham, London, Southampton, and Bristol suffer attacks by the German Air Force. Long-range artillery placed on the coasts of Northern Europe also strikes the Dover area. The RAF incorporates the 1st Squadron of Handley Page Halifax Mk1 heavy bombers. These bombers attack the airfields of Amsterdam Schiphol and Leeuwarden in the Netherlands, several targets near the Ruhr Basin in Germany, and also ports in Northern Europe. The Greek army pursues the Italians through Albanian territory. The British press expects the Germans to intervene to bolster the Italian forces. General Ion Antonescu, Prime Minister of Romania, formalizes his country's entry into the Tripartite Pact. Meanwhile, the head of the Slovakian government, Professor Tuka, arrives in Berlin for high-level meetings. In northern Africa, the Italian Air Force once again bombs the British naval base of Alexandria in Egypt. In the Battle of the Atlantic, German U-boats employ wolf pack tactics to attack a convoy heading for Britain. U-100, commanded by Joachim Schepke, sinks the British freighters Bradfijn Justitia and Lees Maersk, the Norwegian vessels Salonika and Bruges, and the Dutch ships Bussum and Ootmarsum. Karl-Heinz Mulle's U-123 sinks the Swedish vessel Anton and the British ships King Eidwall, Oak Crest, and Tamara. Sunday, November 24th. While the Bulgarian government decides to delay its country's entry into the Tripartite Pact, Slovakia chooses to join the alliance. In the Battle of Britain, London, Bristol, and Southampton are targeted by the German Air Force. The RAF attack Hamburg and Wilhelmshaven. Braving the dangers of anti-aircraft artillery, RAF pilots also strike Berlin, dropping several incendiary bombs which cause widespread damage. German special forces cut the telegraph line linking Berlin and the United States. Lord Lothian, the British ambassador in Washington, meets President Roosevelt to discuss American aid. After the meeting, Secretary of State Cordell Hull informs the press that support for Britain will be reassessed after overhauling the neutrality laws. In Albania, the Greek army continues its cleanup operation in the region of Korica and wages a guerrilla campaign against the Italians around the mountain village of Moshopolis, 20 kilometers from the city. British planes bomb the French city of Marseille. On the African front, the Italians continue to bomb Alexandria in Egypt.